Welcome to the first installment of my series, Go Unstuck Yourself, where I'll be going over real advice on how to climb as a jungle in League of Legends. This is your no-nonsense, no BS way to effectively climb. My name is KJ, aka Icelandic Hero. I am a challenger jungler and a semi-pro player. Now, let's get into the video. So guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of my Lillia games that I just played yesterday in a Grandmaster game. There are two challenger players in here, one on each team. So if you're interested in watching a lot of my live games, I'm currently climbing to challenger and we're at like 120 LP away. But I wanted to show you guys this game because it didn't go too well for me early game, but I just tried my best to stay focused, stay positive, play for the team, and play for the win con. So I thought it'd be a really good game to show you what to do in games where you're not the one 1v9ing, because it's not every game that you get to just have fun in 1v9. Sometimes you have to play around your team. I was a little bit scared of their early game bot lane. I think I was scared of the fact that they might get push early and then invade my red buff if I pathed down. So I wanted to just start here and get away. As you can see, their bot lane is already pushing in. And if Kai'Sa on Nautilus walks into your jungle while you're farming your jungle, you are in big trouble. In those situations, I would try to avoid being there on that timer. So that's why I pathed up. Yeah, so they had a volley bear as well. That's why I think I was very scared of going bot lane. So here, I thought this fight looked pretty good, but my Tristan actually walked back into the Akali E, which I don't think she really had to. When you're playing against volley bear, guys, I'm just going to pause real quick. The number one thing you have to think about is that you're a little bit faster than him, unless he has a Q. And volley bear's W is very annoying, because if he Ws you once, then the next time he Ws you, when he has this purple X over you, he will heal a lot. So right now, what I'm thinking about is just avoiding being in range of him Wing me. So let's just watch. He really wants to W me. I'm trying to space it. I actually end up with a pretty favorable trade because I spaced him out like that. I make sure my Tristana gets the last hit on there. Hit my E because that's the only thing I can really throw out at this point. And we get the kill. So you might be thinking, wait, this is going pretty good. I thought you said this game went bad. Well, this was just the first play. Just do my clear here. I am looking bot lane to see if I might need to cover them. Just curious, I might need to help them. Here I see that Volibear is starting the Void Grubs already, so I'm a little conflicted. But in this type of situation, if you just look at Volibear and then you look at the rest of the map, my Fiora has slight priority. My Tristana actually doesn't have priority. And I'm level 4 and the Volibear is level 5. So I'm like, okay, I just can't fight him. It's not worth me risking the game to fight him here. He gets the Void Grubs. It is what it is. My Tristana jumps into the Volibear, trades 1 for 1. Now look top lane, I'm not sure if I should go for this gank because of the amount of minions. My Fiora ends up going in, so I'm like, okay. Let's see what happens. End up missing my W there, but decent gank. All I need to do now is just recall, but at the same time, Volibear just walked from mid to bot lane, and his gank worked as well. Every time Volibear's ganks work, it's a little dangerous for us. Champion is very strong right now. So now I'm thinking about the dragon, right? I don't have any camps for like 10 seconds. And my Rel just jumps in. This game is like a little bit awkward here because they've gotten the Void Grubs and the dragon. Pretty good punish by us though. Like I say, every time you see the enemy team do dragon early, you should maybe see if you could punish the dragon. A lot of times you don't want to be the first person to do the dragon, you want to be the second person to enter the fight. Now we can just do a really free full clear, and we are very happy. I will say, what I meant by this game wasn't going well, I actually think I played the early game pretty well this game. But what ended up happening is the enemy team still has 7 kills, even though I have 5 assists. Like, things are not going particularly well, despite how beneficial my ganks have been. I end up actually trying to save this Fiora, but he just dies. No Void Grubs are spawning, and we actually don't have priority for these Void Grubs either. You can see there, Yorick and Nautilus walk through mid lane. So I try to do my best. Like, In my mind, I'm like, I'm pretty strong. Maybe we can fight. Get a 3-man ult. Yeah, I actually popped off. I forgot about this. That's a really good ult. And then Akali comes. Oh no. And now in my mind, I'm like, in my mind, I was thinking, wow, I just did all of that for the Void Grubs, and they still end up getting the Void Grubs. I'm trying my best here. I think I should just back off and start farming again here. No reason to contest anymore. Yeah, that's what I do. Recall, I get my Landry's. Stana dies again. My Smolder dies. I pick up this mid wave because no one else will pick it up. Then I take my Raptors here. I don't know why I walked into the river here, honestly. I don't know what I was expecting. A bit greedy of me. But when you make a play like this, you just have to think, okay, not much I can do. And I'm so greedy. The Volibear had a ward in that bush, so I die. I should have just went to my Krugs and then farmed it out. Maybe I could even do Dragon after this whole sequence. But instead, I be greedy and I just die for it. It's my bad. I go back to my Krugs. Even though it feels a little bad that my Wolves and Gromp are still alive, I do think that maybe my team could fight with me for the Dragon. Waiting for something to happen. I noticed Anonymous was trying to look for something. Unfortunately, I don't hit my Kaisa with my sleep, so it's hard to do anything. And I end up having to give this dragon. If you can't fight the dragon, don't fight it. Their mid lane has push, their bot lane has push. Don't fight the dragon, go farm. Now that I've done all my camps, maybe look for something. It's just a little awkward right now because I don't see a lot of their team. But I think I ended up starting this Herald because my Rel is just hovering me. I want to make sure that we're not wasting her time. I ended up getting the Herald. Pretty good. Right now, like, this game is just awkward. Like, there's just not a lot of things that I can do. Even though I have my ult and I have my flash coming up, it just feels like there's not much to do on the map. But it's okay. You just have to realize that in a game like this, that you have Smolder, you have Tristana and Fiora. The slower this type of game is, the better it is for you. So try to not get too impatient. If you have the scaling advantage, then nothing happening is just better for you. And our Smolder gets one shot by the Volibear. This was crazy. That's what I mean when I'm like, this game felt really awkward. I tried a Q there to help kill the Kaisa, and I do end up getting one kill. Every play just felt losing here. The Yorick is also just splitting. He's actually beating our Fiora in the split push. It's very, very hard to really play. But, you know, all you have to do is just go to your next spawning camps. I have to try to full clear here. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like, this next dragon is probably not even ours. I just have to clear. In a game like this, you just have to give every dragon. Like, normally, you only give the first 2 dragons as Lillia when you're behind, because after that, for the 3rd dragon, you're usually pretty strong. But this game, I was just thinking we're losing on all fronts. There's no way we can actually fight for this dragon. So we just have to pray that something good happens in the next 5 minutes before the soul spawns. I just do my camps. I want to try to stay as farmed as possible. I want my red buff here, but I'm very scared of entering my jungle. Yep, it's God. Akali is legendary. What you have to think to yourself in a game like this is like, the game is probably over, but everyone throws. So maybe you'll just win. If you just focus up, you try to keep your deaths to a minimum. If the enemy team makes a mistake and you don't make a mistake, there is still a chance of winning. You just have to know that it's kind of up to the enemy team to mess up. In the meantime, I'll farm up, get as strong as possible. I thought that was a 3-man stun, but unfortunately it only hit 2 people. It's pretty good E by me though. I just followed up with a Rel CC. Every time we get kills, it stalls up the game a little bit. Sorry, I keep yawning. I don't know what it is. Every time I make videos, I just start yawning. Maybe you guys are just boring. You might notice in your own games, and I notice this a lot when I'm coaching people, is that you're not actually farming your camps as they spawn in a game like this. You're just looking for fights over and over. Realistically, The only fights you want to look for in a game like this are the ones where the enemy team is doing something extremely dumb. Like this ball, honestly, this ball over here is going in by himself, so my team is trying to fight it, which I think is pretty good. If the enemy team doesn't do anything stupid, then the best thing you can do is just try to get as many camps as possible. So even though the enemy team has been like on our side of the map and they've been pretty far ahead this whole time, I guarantee you the next time I press tab, like my farm is probably going to be pretty decent. And at this point, it's 20 minutes, so when you're this far behind, you can't even walk into the river to get vision. You should be very scared that the enemy team will do Baron. So it's good to make sure your team has blue wards or try to sneak some type of wards near the Baron. Because right now, we would have no idea if they started Baron. But here, this is a very common situation. My team sent 2 people bot lane, so any good team will just do Baron here. So in my mind, I'm like, oh wow, we just gave them Baron for free? That's unfortunate. I think I tried to throw my E just to see, but I think they dodge it. But you just have to remember that since your team sent 2 people bot, there actually is no chance for you to fight the Baron, especially when you're behind. If you're ahead, you can, but I mean, we're behind, so there's nothing we can do about it. At least we get the mid tower. Arel looks for some type of flank, which is always pretty good. In my mind right now, I'm just thinking like, okay, if I can find a good angle to Q flash ult, we could win. Looks like we have to give this dragon as well, honestly. It looks so hard. I want my team to ward so I can maybe go for the steal. Well, I think I end up going for the steal, but I actually miss. It's so sad. But now they have Mountain Soul, and it's just very hard to play at this point. You know, guys, you have to keep your mental strong. What does the enemy team do here? Oliver just run it down. Well, the enemy team throws. Even though they have Mountain Soul and Baron, they somehow throw here. So I'm just in there like, okay, I'll clear bot lane. Let's see, what do we do here now? Honestly, the enemy team just does a lot of weird stuff. Like I said, it's up to the enemy team to lose this game. All you can do is just farm up. Let's see, I press tab, and you can see when I press tab here, even though this game is going pretty terribly, I'm only down 2 CS. I did a good job of just catching every single camp as it spawned as much as I could. So that meant I kept myself as a decently strong player in this game. That's all you can do in a game like this. It's really good to just be, as long as you're not too far behind the curve. I thought Frozen Heart might be a good item. I have my ult coming up, so I just tried to use it as I leave. I ended up getting a 1 for 2, not the best. And now I'm just thinking like, wow, okay, I just have to stall as much as I can, but realistically, I can't really hold that inhib. So I should get my health back. I don't have flash or ult, so very hard for me to be a champion at this point. But Rel is a champion that has some very nice engage. At this point, I just need to kind of frontline for my Stana and my Smolder, because they have been doing a lot of work. And somehow we managed to wipe them here. And now, even though this game was looking terrible, this is a really good position, because if you are this far behind and you manage to AC enemy team and they have your inhibs down, that means you get a lot of free farm that they won't get, because super minions, they always kill the other minion waves so that the enemy team can't actually get XP from minions for a while. So just get mid push first, and then I walk to this Baron, because my team wants to do the Baron as soon as possible, because if the enemy team gets this next Baron, it becomes a lot harder to play, since Elder Dragon is also spawning in 1 minute. Looks like they're not contesting, so I smite it. Now I want to try to get my Frozen Heart and recall as soon as possible. I actually think that I could have done the... Okay, no, I got the Frozen Heart. Very good. You get a pink ward as well, but I forgot to get a pink ward here. So now I know that I'm a pretty strong frontline for my AD carries. And I know the game looks winnable now, because we have a Smolder with his stacks up, and we have a Tristana that's really fed. So all I'm thinking about is trying to stall and frontline for my team. But here, it looks like the enemy team is actually starting it. This fight felt very awkward to play, because the enemy team is like flanking us on 3 sides, and I actually go for the Kaisa here. I actually think this ended up being a terrible play by me. I should save my flash for the Elder Dragon. But it did work in getting her very low. Even though the enemy team gets the Elder, I end up winning because I managed to get the Kai'Sa in such a bad condition that she died. Unbelievable. Maybe it was greedy for me to go for those cards. Now, I really need my team to just survive this siege. Luckily, they got the wave, and it's not like the enemy team has Baron. And this fight ends up looking pretty scary. But our Tristana is absolutely cooked out of her mind. Mulder is just so stupid of a champion. And we win the game. Now you might think I didn't do anything this game, but I think this is a great game to understand that you don't always have to be the carry. Sometimes you just have to take a step aside and try to not die, try to farm up, and be a frontline for your team. Even though I didn't impact that last fight, I think that I had a pretty decent impact on most of the fights that game. So even though this wasn't my best game, and the enemy team managed to get most of the objectives, I stayed positive and I played for the win. So I just wanted to show you guys this game because normally I show you guys games where I completely pop off. You don't always have to pop off to win. Sometimes you have to let your team do the heavy pulling and you just have to be a supportive structure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed a game where I'm not super fed, let me know in the comments and like and subscribe.